So my trip keeps changing, right?
Okay. So you're still based in Victoria?
I'm still based in Victoria. So
okay.
I said that I wasn't willing to leave until I seen you because I need scripts and things like that.
Yeah.
I'm suffering like major anxiety. Like
right.
I'm sure that it has something to do with what happened from, you know, it sort of was triggered with Mum, and I've seen Nicole since then, and I've explained everything to her, and she was really able to help me see it from a different perspective, like telling me, you know, how saying goodbyes can be hard, and you know how everyone probably had a lot of stuff going on themselves, and sometimes it can be easier for a person to make distance, to make the saying goodbye easier. And she asked me how it is with Mum at the moment. So obviously I saw you the day that I last saw my mum, when everything went upside down.
Yeah.
The following day she was leaving the country, and my mum is really scared of flying.
Okay.
And I was, you know, I couldn't leave it like that. So I messaged her and I said, you know, I'm wishing you safe travels. I hope everything's okay, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, Mum it's like it didn't happen. Yeah, it's not been spoken about once. It's Mum's totally fine. It's all just doesn't count as what I can feel. And I said to Nicole, I mean, that doesn't exactly help me because it really did happen. And even though Mum's fine and everything's all good, I feel like I've got this like extended, I'm just anxious constantly. I have had panic attacks every day for a week now, to the point where, like, I got my dash cam installed and everything keeps going wrong. Like, I'd be lying if I said that I can't help but shake this feeling that I'm not meant to go, and yet I do think I'm meant to go, because I've still got my home, everything's still down here, you know. If I go up there and I'm there for a couple months and heaven forbid it isn't right, I can come back, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know that it's just this, and I keep saying it's, and like obviously, you know, I make my videos every day, and I've been focusing on the fact that I'm breathing. So I'm doing breathing exercises, I'm doing mindfulness, I'm trying to meditate, I'm trying to sit with the feeling and to understand, you know. Like I finally spoke to my friend yesterday, her and the other person that live up there, and it didn't go so well to begin with, because, like, you know, there are certain things people need to know, and I'm already an anxious person, but like I asked her to send me photos of the room, and I sent her a message and I was like, is there a door? And there's no door. And I was like, well, I really need a door on my bedroom, you know. And her answer was, no you don't, there's no secrets, everything is open, there's no need for a door. And I was like, okay, look, I appreciate you might be like that, but I need a door. I was like, your room has a door, her room has a door, I'm going to be there 24/7 and you guys are only there on the weekends. I was like, is there any chance I could have the room with the door? And I got really told off for even asking. And I was like, okay. And I was asking questions. So when she rang me yesterday on video, she immediately told me that I was acting entitled, that I was selfish, demanding, and just to the point where I started crying. Yeah. Because I was like, I really don't think asking about a door makes me entitled or demanding. I said if I had got there and not knowing, that it would have thrown me, you know? Yeah. And like, you know, I said to her, can I at least buy like a makeshift door? And then she said something like it won't hang, that's why there's not one, something to do with, you know, it's an old house. And I was like, I can buy a material one that just sticks up with Velcro, you know what I mean? But she started saying, you know, you need to reflect, and, you know, it makes no difference to me whether you're here or not. And she's like, I'm not saying that you're not welcome. She's like, I don't want you to think, you know, that I'm being like your mom, or that I'm abandoning you, or I'm saying you can't come. I'm just saying that whether you come or not is entirely up to you and makes no difference to me. And I guess I was getting a bit thrown, and her friend was there, and she was like, we really want you here, we're excited, like, we really want you to be here, you're overthinking it too much. And I'm like, I understand I'm overthinking things, but I'm traveling for 3 states to a place I've never been before.
Yeah.
Like, I need to know certain stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, then they were saying, like, you know, we're only here 4 days out of the month, how much more privacy do you need? And I was like, yep, okay, I'm fine with all of that. Like, I can deal with it when I get up there. You know, like, a big thing, I keep overthinking the packing, but it's like I keep going back and forth. Like, I've packed to take this, like, I've decided to pull back from uni. So I've decided that I'm not in a state to go back to university. I've unenrolled for this trimester, I'll be unenrolling, and then I'm going to defer for like a year or whatever, and then see how I feel 2026. But as it stands, I just don't have it in me, and I don't have like the funds to be doing all of that and everything, because it's so much more expensive than I thought it was when I applied. Because I think I told you they had an estimated amount, and then the first trimester was almost exactly what they said the year was going to be.
Oh, okay.
And so I've decided, you know, like, I've packed all my uni notes from my bachelor, for example, because, you know, I've paid all this money. I don't know what other people at uni are like, but I managed to get through my degree, but that doesn't mean I remember everything, you know. And I thought being in the nature, and again, like, I'm going to be in the house 5 out of the 7 days by myself, and I keep reminding myself that, you know, and I want to be able to, like, read my notes in peace, because without uni stress, I think that'll be a big difference, you know. So I'm taking them, and I'm taking all of my clothes, and you know, things like that. And, like, I've literally, in my car, as it is, the big thing's on my roof already, you know, like, there's a few boxes in there, and starting to pack. And I was originally going to leave, like, you know, tomorrow or Wednesday, and get there while they weren't there, because they're not there this weekend, and then have my own time to sort of settle. But when I was speaking to them yesterday, the water, like, the farm is on bore water, like well and rainwater and stuff, and apparently they couldn't access the water, and there was all this stuff. And I said, you know, like, is this stuff I need to know? Like, if I'm going to get there, is there going to be water? And that's when they realized, and they said, you know what, you need to arrive while we're here, because this is stuff that we have to teach you as you're doing it. And I was like, yeah, I can appreciate that. That's cool. I don't know. I guess I'm feeling a bit better saying it to you, but I just feel like it's been one thing after another going wrong, and it's making me afraid. Like, am I not meant to go? But then, even when I think about the idea of not going, there's always going to be the what if, you know what I mean? Like, this could be amazing. I mean, my friend is an extremely busy person. She runs a store that has, you know, convicts and ex-drug addicts, and she's in charge of so many people, and I know that. And I said to her yesterday, like, one of my biggest fears, I guess, is that she's always good. Everything is perfect with her. And I tried, you know, to explain, and you know, she's talking about doing trauma work and, you know, this and that. And I said, look, I've been working on myself for years. And she's like, well, what's the problem? And I kind of felt like, well, I'm a much better version than who I was, but I'm still me. And I said, you know, I have mental illness. I saw the look on her face. Some people don't believe in it. I'm starting to think my friend doesn't. And I guess I'm really nervous. And I said this to her. I was like, everything is really good, and I'm nervous if, for whatever reason, I have a day. I said, everybody has days. Yeah, I said, And I'm nervous because you've said to me so many times, no negativity, no bringing bullshit, no this, no that. And I was like, in general, I fully agree.
Yeah.
And she keeps saying, you know, you coming up here is going to be good for you, and we're going to be able to help you. And all of those things are why I want to be there.
Yeah.
But, like, boss is dying. And I know I've already told you he's got cancer and tumours, and they're just appearing everywhere. But it's not tested to be proven, but I don't even need the blood test to prove it. The cancer's definitely gone into his blood and into his stomach, because he spent all last night, throughout the night and this morning, just vomiting everywhere. And I've cried my eyes out this morning because he's so sick. And it's not sick to the point where he needs to be put down, because he's fine. He's himself, he's good, he's fine, but he's not managing to keep his food down. Every time I've had him, there are more and more tumours. And I desperately want him to enjoy the rest of his life up there. And my friend has said that I can bury him on the farm. But I guess last night and this morning has really stressed me out, because, like, he's been vomiting off and on, you know. But I left the dog door open for him, and he couldn't make it outside. He made it to the door, but he couldn't even get outside. And it was everywhere. And it's not about me having to clean it up. It's about, he's my best friend. And I can't make this trip without him, because I need him for safety. But I'm also scared, like, traveling with him, and I don't know what to do. And I was going to buy it. I ran out of canned meat, and I don't even know if I should buy any and just see if we can keep the biscuits down.
Yeah.
Every single body I know keeps telling me it's all okay, it's normal to have nerves when you're moving, it's normal to have all of this, you know, it's a good thing that everything that's going wrong is going wrong before I've gotten on the road, that everything's sorted before that. And I agree with everything, and I believe all of that, but then I can't tell if it's this gut instinct saying that I'm not meant to go, or if it's just anxiety going insane. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I need a change. I know I need a change. I know I need something different. And as everyone keeps saying, and my friend said yesterday, the absolute worst that happens is I get up there, doesn't work, and I come back. Would you agree? No, I would like your opinion.
I would say a lot of things which basically can show you a positive, so like going there, blah, blah, that, can actually be very, very stressful. So I know it's meant to be a good thing, and probably the closest thing I can think of is organising a wedding.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
Organise a wedding. It's meant to be a happy event, but there is so much stress and just everything's in a big and so yes, you're organising something that is great, but the actual thing you do beforehand is really stressful, time consuming. You know, it's a very, very difficult thing.
That makes me feel better, because I haven't been able to step out of myself and put it like you've just said and try to relate it to something else, because everyone keeps saying that, and it's true. Like, you know, I got a dash cam and I had it installed, then I had to wait for pieces from Navman to become, because issues with connections or whatever, and then I had my, like, I've paid for extra so it will continue running while it's parked, right? And when I first had it done, it didn't work. And then my mechanic came after work on a Friday, and he worked on it, and he said it was all done, and he checked it and it was all good. And then I went in and I checked it myself, and I turned the car off, did what I had to, and the same message kept coming up, which was external power needed. And I contacted my mechanic. He was in Sydney for the weekend, and I was like, I don't know what's going on. He goes, I checked it, or I did that. And I'm like, well, there must be enough power somewhere that it lets it run. But when I parked here today, I parked, the camera was on, I obviously turned the car off, I got out, I locked the door, and I was getting in people's way, I'll be honest, and I just kept looking in the mirror, in the window, and the camera was running the whole time. But I don't know if that just meant there was power for it. If it's running when I get out there, fantastic, it means it's working. I'm praying that it is. But like I said, I tested it after my mechanic, and it did the same thing, and it just feels like one thing after another.
Yeah, I know. But it's, I mean, it's the same as like, don't sweat over the small stuff, really.
Yeah.
So,
and I know you're right, because I know every time I think about not going, I know I'll always wander.
Go.
Yeah.
Go.
Well,
and as you say, the worst case scenario, it doesn't work. Well, 3 months later, you just come back. Sometimes you do have to take a leap of faith.
yeah, I know.
Rather than just stay in your comfort zone all the time.
And I think that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, so go, because you already know the worst case scenario is it doesn't work out, you come back. That's
True.
it.
That is true. And my uni friend's right up there too, and she's waiting for me to come. She's
Yes,
like
you should
30
go.
minutes away, and she's super excited. And
Yeah, no, you should definitely go.
And with the packing, I mean, like, I've tried to pack and unpack and pack, and it's doing my head in, and I'm at the point where it's like I'm taking what I want on the premise it works. Worst case, it doesn't. It's all in boxes, like, you know what I mean? All I'm really taking are my clothes anyway, and my notes and books and stuff to read, which seems okay. I mean, I'm going to be out in the nature, and I needed to speak to you.
Are you packing boxes, or are you packing bags and stuff, like luggage?
No, so I bought this material, like it's this big roof thing on my car, right? The boxes have books, and like, you know, I've packed little like ornament things, like in your office, to make the room my own and stuff like that. My clothes are in suction bags, so you know, even if I don't need them all, they can stay in the suction bags. And like the storage thing that I've got, it doesn't have to be on my car for it to work. It could be in a shed and have stuff in it if I don't need it. Like the only boxes, you know, like because I've finally decided that I cannot deal with another degree. Like I said, it would be really nice if I knew the information I already have a degree on, you know, and I'm really proud of all the booklets I've made, and, you know, and I know they've told me I'm overthinking it and overpacking and this and that, but I'm the sort of person that...
I think the thing with your packing is it's a bit overwhelming, and I think you remember that any complicated stuff has to be broken down into simple lots, simple bits, and not try to do the whole thing.
No, I've been
and look
doing
at the
that.
whole thing together. So I will probably like, okay, my pants are in this pile.
Yeah, I've done.
My bra and undies are in this pile. Like, just so that your brain is free, because then you can see what's happening out there.
That side of it is good. That side of it's okay. I think it's just been, you know, like the dash cam stuff, and I guess I was just really, really thrown when I was told that I was acting entitled and demanding and selfish because I asked about having a daughter.
No, well, that's their problem.
And like I did say at one point, and maybe I was wrong, and it was in a message the night before, and I was like, well, you know, so Sammy's my friend who owns the place, and she works with the woman that stays there. So they work together full Monday to Friday, and then the other girl goes on the weekends.
Yeah.
But she doesn't go every weekend. She doesn't even go every other weekend. And that's why I was like, well, based on the fact that I'm going to be living there,
Yeah.
24/7 and paying bills, you know, is there a chance we can swap rooms?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was really told off for even asking. And like I've sort of got it in my head, okay, that's fine, I can buy a curtain, I can put beads up, and they just kept saying to me, we're only here 4 days of the month, how much more privacy do you need? And they have a point, you know, but...
No, I think you deserve a door.
Everybody deserves a door, right?
Yes.
And she was like, my daughter, blah, 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 and I was like, it's all well and good, but like...
You just need a door. It's a basic thing. It's just a door.
Yeah, well,
That's
apparently a normal door can't go up, but I was like, I've been looking online, you can get material ones, and that's all I need, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah, and you just ask them, well, can I do this at least?
Yeah, I think they're fine with that. When I
Fine.
mentioned having mental health issues, she didn't say anything. Because I guess, like I said, I'm nervous, you know, about what happens if I have a bad day. And she gave me an example about what happens when the other lady has a bad day, and if she stays in bed, you know, she'll let her wallow for a little bit, but then she goes in and gets her up and does that. And I need that. I need someone to pull me out of my shit, and I do know that. I guess this morning the anxiety hit me so bad because of Boss, with all the vomiting and everything like that. I know he's going to die when I'm up there, and I know this. I want him buried up there. I want him to have all that time. I want that, but I also know I'm going to grieve.
Of course you're going to grieve. Of course, it's.
I guess I'm just I guess I'm nervous because I was in such a good place, and everything with Mum is good. Nicole explained everything so well. I just feel like I'm not snapping out of it fast enough.
I know, it's a very stressful situation. It's very stressful. So you being able to even just cope with it a little bit is good. Because it's crazy stressful.
Thank you.
You know, moving house. Moving house. You know, moving house is about the third down the list. I don't know if you know about this list.
Like
so the top of the list is a close family member, like a primary member, dying. Right? That's the top. Then the second is something else. A moving house is the third one.
Yeah, well, when you put it like that.
I think the second was like getting divorced.
I think that's that one.
The second was getting divorced, and the third was moving house.
Yeah, when you put it like
that. It's really high up there. So, yes, it's normal to feel stressed out and not coping and all that, because it is a very stressful situation. I would go bonkers.
Oh, thank you. That makes me feel better. I've just been feeling like I'm going crazy, and I don't know why.
No. Like, you know how I wasn't initially in this room? I was initially in that room? I was offered this room a few years ago.
Yeah.
And this room is obviously a lot better than that room. But I'm like, okay, I'm too stressed. I can't do this. I can't move everything. I'm just moving my room. That's it. I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do this. So I didn't take up the offer. And then the second time they offered me, I'm like, okay, Elaine, you have to step out of your comfort zone. Yes, you've got a lot of stuff. You need to pack it, blah, 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 blah. But that is what you need to do if you want to move into this room. So you make a decision what you want to do. And I'm like, I want to move. I was talking to myself. I'm like, I want to use it. Well, then you know what you need to do. Do it.
That makes me feel better.
That's it.
Yeah, because
that's it.
I was doing really well. I've been really in the mindfulness. Like I said, I'm practicing breathing. Like, I'm super proud of that, I'll be honest and say I'm just really focusing on the breathing and managing.
And you know, the loss of a pet. I mean, we lost 2 dogs, and they both lived 13, 14, and it was so traumatic for me that I never bought another pet. It's like, I can't do this again.
Yeah.
Like, I can't do it. So we never bought another pet, especially since I had Cheeky when he was like 6 weeks old, and he lived to 13, 14, you know. It felt to me like my teenager is dying because he's only 13 years old.
Boss is only 11 and a half, and
Yeah.
I've been living alone for over a decade with him.
Yeah.
It's just me and him.
Yeah, but that is one huge stress. Then moving is another huge stress, and you've just put the two together, and it's ginormous mess and stress. So you are doing good.
Thank you.
You're doing very good for holding it all together.
Oh, that makes me feel better.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thank you.
So you know what you need to do. Like you say, take some deep breaths and say, okay, this is what I need to do. I will do this. That is what I need to do. I will do that. And you just need to have your logical brain go, okay, stop stressing out. You can stress out, but that's not going to help. So stop stressing out. Just figure out what you need to do and do it.
Besides the panic attacks and the stress and the crying, I actually have been doing that, and my stuff is in places and things like that. Thank you.
That's all right.